Peeps, what's poppin'? Goobs back here with another video. Hopefully you guys are all having a fantastic day, fantastic week. We got another top 10 video here for you today. We just did the boys after base. Now we're going to be taking a look at the guys controlling the game behind the dish, the catchers. This was honestly a very deep list, and honestly, man, you could put any of these guys, I want to say, like, anywhere on this list. It's absolutely crazy how many good catchers we have the first half of this game. If you guys do enjoy these top 10 lists and you do enjoy the videos like this, be sure to smash the like button. It actually helps a ton, you guys, the interactions and stuff like that, likes, commenting, stuff like that. I know everybody says it. It does actually help me out. It does help out the growth of the video and of the channel. So if you guys would like to see more of these videos, drop a like, subscribe, comment, let me know down below if I frig anything up, anything like that. Let's jump right into it. Starting it off at number 10 is Mr. Hadley Ruiz, the former, I think he was a #1 prospect in baseball, like coming into this year, I think. My man Hadley. He'll obviously get some sort of better card later on in the year, but this was a card, I think you could get him like right at launch. So, you know, there's a reason why he's number 10. You know, he's obviously a little bit outdated. I never actually used this card because I got somebody that's a little bit higher up on this list, like very quick. If you're just starting off though, man, Hadley's still pretty solid. He's got 90 plus contact to both sides. The power is a little bit lacking at 80 and 78, but it's still definitely very serviceable. And most people that still are using Hadley or interested in using Hadley probably have him paralleled up a little bit from the beginning of the game. He's got 85 defense as well, so he's probably, I think he's one of the most well-rounded catchers that we have so far in this game, and he's a switch hitter, so there's still absolutely nothing wrong with using this Hadley Ruiz card. It's just there's much better options now. Now this might be a little bit of a surprise with how like high this guy is on the list. Number 9 is Gary Carter. He is the Mets Live Series collection, and this is honestly, man, just a card that they kind of drop every year, and I'm just like, hey, I'm gonna give Gary Carter another shout. I'm gonna give him another go, see how he is, and just every year it's just kind of the same thing, man. I think this card is a very serviceable bench bat on like a god squad, but he's got 73 110, so he's obviously very stat against lefties. This card is still very good, man. I just like his swing isn't the best. He's good against lefties, I get that, but like that's really it. We're hitting the wave of Future Star cards, and we were blessed, man, with so many. I think there's 4 or 5 Future Star cards in this list, and I even had to leave a couple of them off because there's so many. But it's Luis Campusano, man. This is his 3rd year running in a row that he's gotten a Future Star card, along with another guy that we will see here very shortly. Back to back years of getting a Future Star card for the Padres. I don't know if they just don't have anybody else that they could give one to, but Campusano's he's okay, man. 88 contact, 94 contact to his both respected sides, 97 power against righties, 104 against lefties. So you kind of see what I'm talking about with Gary Carter. You know, you sacrifice a little bit of those stats against lefties, a little bit of contact, a little bit of power. This guy's a much better, well, he's not a much better, but he's a better fielder than Gary, and he's way better against righties. We stick to the Future Stars, and we got, honestly, one of the most exciting prospects in baseball right now, Mr. Henry Davis. He's a little bit of a different build than Campusano. He's definitely got the gunny 97 arm strength. You are not going to be able to run on this man at all. His hitting attributes, though, 91, 94 contact to both sides, 88 power against righties with 97 power against lefties. So you still see he's still very serviceable against lefties, and he's pretty good against righties, man. 91, 88, not the best thing in the world, but I really do like this card. I tried him out, I think in the event on somebody else's account, and he went absolutely bananas. I know it's really hard for like the fielding on catchers to be noticed this year, just because it's so random and RNG with like the stuff that they get, but I really did like Henry Davis behind the plate too. That 97 arm strength and 95 arm accuracy just make it so easy to gun people out, man. We stick with another Future Star cards. There's so many Future Star catchers, man. I think I left 2 of them off as well. I had to leave this is a little bit of a spoiler, but MJ Melendez I left off, and Shea Langoliers, I think that's his name. I left both of those guys off. I also wanted to fit the breakout, is it a breakout Mitch Garver, like the 89 Mitch Garver? I really wanted that card in here too. I just had no room, man. Corey Lee is pretty solid though, man, and I know a lot of people love this card and use this card. He's very similar to Henry Davis. He's like a little bit of a juiced up version of Henry Davis. He's an absolutely fantastic arm. He's got the slight edge in fielding. He's got like a couple more points above the fielding. His speed is pretty solid for a catcher. 64 speed for a catcher is very underrated. You won't need to, he won't be a liability in front of people. He will be able to score in those gappers and stuff like that. 64 speed is fine for a catcher. And the main thing, man, he smashes 84, 94 against righties, 95, 100 against lefties. Like, he's just as well rounded as some of these other guys that we're seeing with the gunny that he's got. He's a great catcher, man. He's a great option. With all of these future start cards, I mean, it honestly will just come down to preference. And I haven't used a lot of them because I personally use my cap at catcher. I think that's the best place for your cap. I use my cap at catcher, but if I did, man, I would be trying out all of these future star guys and seeing which one I actually like. I haven't used a ton of them, but I'm just going strictly off of stats and what I've seen other people use and stuff like that. The last, and in my opinion, the best future star card, and I gotta give a tip of the hat and a shout out to one of my closest friends in the community, Mr. Graceful Swan himself. He loves himself some Joseph Bartimus. Joseph Bartimus coming in, man. He is probably the most well-rounded fielder we have of the group, I think, so far that I showed. He gets 88, 88, 92, 86, 89 for fielding. So a couple of those parallels get every single stat above 90 for fielding. That's crazy. This is also Joey Bart's third consecutive year getting a future star card, just like Campusano, as I said earlier. His hitting stats, he's pretty similar to somebody like Corey Lee. So he's got 84, 93 against righties, 97, 105 against lefties. And the one thing with Joey Bart is, man, that I give him the slight edge above all these other future star cards is his swing. He's got a fantastic swing. It kind of feels like a buffed up version of like Craig Biggio swing. He kind of has like that same, the same kind of stance and follow through, except I just feel like the ball comes off his bat a lot better than somebody like Biggio does. He kicks off our top 5, man, and honestly, as I said, you could intertwine or change these future star cards as you like, but this is my personal opinion and just what I think and what I've seen my friends and just the people that I face every day. People love this Joey Bart card, man. And I even loved his 84 card, his Tops Now card from like the beginning of the game. So if you like that card, definitely give this card a shout. Moving away finally from the future stars, now we have a home run derby card. We had Aegon in the first base video. This one, we got Giovanni Soto. I think the last time we saw Soto in Diamond Dynasty or in MLB The Show was MLB 16, I want to say. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is a very well balanced card though, man. And the reason why he's a little bit higher up, he's just a little bit better balanced. They did a fantastic job with these home run derby cards with how balanced they are. Him and Swisher, they're all really balanced cards. An 83, 86, 84, 81, 81 for fielding. So not quite as good as fielding as somebody like Joey Bart, but the hitting, 107 and 100 against lefties, man. That is why he is above the rest of these guys. Hear me out. My man Hip Hip Jorge Posada is still a top 3 catcher in this game. I think this guy clears everybody else that I've had on this list so far, though. I know his hitting stats, like, he won't be able to get 100 everything kind of like Giovanni Soto would, or like a Joey Bart or a Corey Lee. But the big thing is here, man, he smashes lefties and he's a switch hitter. I honestly couldn't tell you how many times Posada's hit a double in the gap against a righty and then comes up the nets that bat with a lefty on the bump and hits one 450 feet to right field on my head. I haven't actually used this Posada card, which I'm kind of upset about, but hopefully, you know, the good card he gets, it's not like that like Silver Slugger I think he gets, or like the awards one, whatever it is, that gives him like 70 contact to both sides with like a shit ton of power. Hopefully they give him like a more well-balanced, like well-rounded card for his good card this year. But it's really the switch hitting option, man, and he's still very good against righties. 89 contact is still pretty solid. You know, you see a lot of these future star cards guys with like mid 90s, stuff like that. Like even like he even has like a higher contact rating than some of these guys. It honestly pains me to not put this guy number 1. I just couldn't put him above the number 1 guy that I have in this list, but it is my man Joe Mauer. Coming in, I almost have him P5, man. He was my catcher up until I started using my cap at catcher and I started getting more lefty bats in the lineup. Joe was kind of like the odd man out, but he's the you got to collect the cover athletes for him. I'm not quite sure how expensive that is now. It's probably still like 200 to 300k to get him, which is a lot now, especially with how many, I would say, like better cards there are. Not that there's many better catchers, I just think there's better way to spend your stubs than Joe Mauer right now if you don't have him already. Talking about his stats though, man, he got pretty well perfect defense. Like, you're not going to get a better fielding catcher, I would say, like hardly. And if you need a lefty bat, 119 contact, 107 contact, his PCI is ginormous. 90 power and 78 power. The thing is with Joe Mauer, man, like, and you can see here, he doesn't hit a ton of home runs. Like, out of his 114 hits, 34 of them are home runs. That's pretty solid. But he does everything, man. When you need a single, when you need to drive in a runner, he does it. He'll hit a gapper for you. He'll get the inning started. Like, it's unbelievable how many times I came up to the dish and I'm like, oh, Joe is up, you know, just look to put it in play. And when you put it in play, man, he's the guy. He's got to, like, getting the bloopies and stuff like that. It's just because of how high his contact is. I had to give the Pizza Man his respected #1 best catcher in the game. It is the Takashi Mike Piazza. It was honestly so hard for me to put him above Joe Mauer, man. I still don't know if he is. I still want to put Joe #1, but with just how good Piazza is at hitting, and he's still not bad behind the dish, like, I think you'll notice the hitting attributes way more than you'll notice the fielding attributes when it comes to catchers. So, like, the hitting upgrade compared to Joe Mauer, the power upgrade, obviously Joe's got the contact. Piazza just hits nukes. 103, 108, 101, 115. I mean, it's kind of hard for me to not put him #1 with those hitting stats. 76 fielding, 83 blocking is what you got to look at for catchers. That's pretty solid. There's obviously better fielding catchers, but, like, you don't really notice catchers fielding that often. I find it's, like, mostly just like a coin flip if they throw them out or not. The one big thing, the one big red flag with Piazza every year is his swing. And I've heard from a lot of people, man, that they love this card. His swing is better. It's not nearly as slow as it once was. If that is true, man, this card is busted. I think he'll be the consensus at catcher. I'm not quite sure what kind of catchers we'll get for the All-Star game. I guess it'll probably be like a Wilson Contreras, a William Contreras, and my boy Alejandro Kirk. So, hey, we might have to revisit this list in like a week, 2 weeks time. I think my man Alejandro Kirk might clear all when it comes to that. But let me know what you guys thought of this list. If I screwed anything up, if I left anybody off that I should have had on, let me know. If I screwed up any rankings. I appreciate all the support so far on these top 10 lists though, peeps. We got a couple left to do before the All-Star wave of content comes out that I do want to get out before that. So I appreciate all the support, peeps. Drop a like, as I said earlier, comment. It helps out the growth, helps out the algorithm. We love trying to get the YouTube algorithm on our side. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys will have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Deuces.